our good friend, America's bouncer and the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
Big Wyatt. Wyatt, how are you, buddy?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me, guys.
Good. No, thanks for coming in on that particularly nasty. Although, how's the roads right now, right when you came in?
They're fine.
Are they?
They're fine.
Good.
I mean, this wasn't even really a winter. I would call this like a heat wave winter
Comparatively.
for Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
Absolutely.
a coat that I wear. It's the cold weather coat. It's a big blue.
The blue coat.
The blue coat. And that's when it's like 0 or 5 below, 10 below. I think I wore it once
Yeah.
this year. I might not have worn it at all last year.
I've been in a hoodie all winter. I'm usually in a hoodie all winter, but this time it was a little warmer. So.
Yeah. I don't.
cool.
I don't wear a coat until it starts to freeze. I have not worn a coat all year.
Right.
Not like the
I hate
big
wearing a
one.
coat. Nope.
Yeah. No such
anyway.
thing as global warming, though.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey, Wyatt, I caught some of your videos that you've been training because you have. When is the next weightlifting and powerlifting?
So we're February 29th to March 1st. We're out at the York Barbell Hall of Fame in Pennsylvania.
All right.
It's the Pennsylvania State Championships, so that's where I'm going to be. After that, we're in Binghamton, Vestal, New York, 100% raw powerlifting. I'm going to break the strict curl world record again. I'm going to call that out now.
Are you?
Make it
Okay.
happen.
In Vestal?
I just did 190 for 2. And I mean, my old record's 183, so I'm already 7 pounds ahead for a double.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
in Vestal. And then after that, we're at Blood Iron Barbell right here in Syracuse on the 28th
For a competition.
for a competition as well.
And that's one that's kind of new to this area.
No, she's been putting it on for a while.
Oh, okay.
Rita owns that gym. She's got a really good atmosphere over there.
Oh, cool.
And, she actually puts out a lot of strong people, a lot of powerlifters. Men,
That's
women,
inspiring.
children, everybody there can,
that's
can
cool.
lift some weights. So really good atmosphere. I always look forward to my training sessions over there.
Oh, that's good. How about, I know you also had a show since the last time that you were here in Albany. It was like a fitness expo type of thing?
Fitness Expo, and we had a powerlifting competition. It was 108 lifters, and I showed up and I had the biggest bench there. I compete bench only, so
Yep.
I opened up 462, and then I went 485, smashed it, and then I missed my third lift again. Man,
What was the third? What was the weight there?
I went for 5015, which I've done, a couple hundred times in my life, and
Wouldn't happen.
just on that day, the bed.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
So is your theory that you build up to it? You go, obviously that's what you're doing. What if you went the other way? What if you just
Well, you don't
started
want to
with
do that.
5?
You don't. Because
Why don't you start
The goal
with
is you want to
5?
get on the board.
Okay.
So the problem is if you miss that lift, then you're not on the board.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you might as well have not even showed up. So, and I've done that before. I mean, the first powerlifting competition I ever did, I was 16 years old, and I benched 405 for the first time.
Yeah.
And I had bad form, but 16-year-old kid moving 405 is pretty crazy. And it still doesn't happen now.
That age.
Once in a while it happens.
Yeah.
But we went out to Hannibal, had a powerlifting contest, and I was like, yeah, just 405. I don't want anything else but 405. And I had 3 attempts at it, and I missed it every single time. The third time I got it, but I hit the rack.
Oh, man.
Bad lift, and the guy who ended up winning it did 325.
Oh.
High school is great, but man, you were
Yeah.
80 pounds away from me. You know what I mean?
So it's just strategy too, going in with the high number first.
Yeah. And that's what I thought. I'm just going in. No one's gonna be
Just
close
end
to
it.
it. I'm gonna do it.
End
I
it.
think the state record at the time was 355 or something. That was the most anyone out of high school from CNY has ever benched. And so I asked the bet on that one too. But it's good to go out there, put it all on the line, and I'm still in the middle of my comeback to this, and that's another reason why I'm doing so many of them, because it's I enjoy it now. When I was younger competing, I'm not sure if I enjoyed it that much.
You get nervous. Were you so nervous?
I still get nervous.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you do it,
The
you
good
still
kind,
get
though.
that. Yeah, you get those butterflies in your stomach.
I think that's I know performers who say that when they stop getting nervous, that's time to get out of it then, because that means that you don't care
you
enough,
don't
or
care
there's not
about
enough
it.
passion
You don't
about it.
care about
You're just going through the motions. So there should be a little bit of nerves going in. So
Right.
the healthy kind, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, So I mean, like back to what I was saying about you get on the board. You know, I've seen other people with worse examples of they want to go in, they call out some big number, and it's like, dude, why did you do that? And then you can't go down.
It's
So
too
once
late.
you call that weight up, you can't be like,
Can't
oh, I
go
want 5
down.
pounds less. You can't do it.
You already-
Your openers, your openers, your openers.
Oh, got it. So when you go back to when you said that you're calling out the strict curl, you're going for it right out of the box,
No, I'm
or you
gonna
just
get on the board,
saying that you're going to
I'm
get the
gonna get
record.
the record, yeah.
Okay, good.
When you break a world record in these different federations, you have you get 4 lifts. So you know, as long as you achieve the first 3, then you get the 4th. I'm
Okay.
gonna get on the board.
Got to make sure it counts.
And then I'm gonna go, you know, for something that's like 1 pound over the record on the second lift, and then I'm gonna go for something crazy.
It's like in the Olympics, like
And then if I get that, then I'm gonna go for something even crazier than that. So
cool, like the sprinters who they have qualifying heats. They just got to get in the final heat, so that they'll run a heat, and it's not their fastest time, but it's fast enough to be the top 6 of all the heats. Now they're in, then they can go big.
Right, absolutely. I mean, and one of my coaches, Joe Grabowski, keeps telling me, he's like, you know, it's the day. He's like, if you came in and you just benched right away, I mean, dude, 108 lifters, so you gotta go through.
Yeah.
You gotta go through, so all the squats gotta go. You get 3 squats. 3 squats each, right? So you're already at what, 324 lifts before you even have bench.
Yeah.
And then at bench, I'm usually dead last. So now we're at
You saved the best for last.
323 benches before I even bench. You know what
So
I mean?
we got. So you have to sort of plan your day
You do.
differently.
You gotta eat right. You gotta fuel right. You gotta, you know, me.
You
like,
gotta chill.
I had adrenaline like 2 days before, and it's hard for me to chill.
I know that day.
But no excuse. No excuse. You know.
So about what time of day does your lift come up?
We got there at 8. I didn't lift till like 5:30.
Oh,
That's bogus.
that's
You
forever.
should have just like walked out and done it. Say, look, it's 8:05, dudes. I'm not sitting here till 8.
My 8:05 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
I'll mention that next time. Like, Gomez says, yeah, you can do whatever
We gotta
you want. but
meditate.
I'm not sure how I'm going to do any of that when there's like 1,000 people in the room.
We'll have to meditate.
You know.
We'll put some blinders on you. We'll keep you totally still. It'll be like a Zen thing.
Yeah.
Look,
That's a
everybody
good
will be
idea.
looking at
That's a good
you.
idea.
That's
So
cool.
like 10 minutes before
Yeah.
it's time for you to lift.
Because I can tell that's how you roll.
Yeah.
It's actually hard to stay in that Zen, man.
Yeah, it is.
Like, what's on your mind? Murder.
Yep. We're talking to the world's strongest man. It's a Big White, America's Bouncer, who, aside from that, will also help us out with the first ever Gomez and Lisa Guns and Roses Valentine's Giveaway Spectacular next Friday, 1 week from tomorrow. You are the guns part of it, and then the roses are part of the prizes part of it.
Okay.
So I know you agreed to do it, and it was cool that you agreed because you didn't even really know exactly what we were going to have you do.
Yeah, you get me to do a lot of weird things. I don't know. You just have that. I'm sure you
sounds fun.
have that effect on a lot of people in your life.
It just sounds fun now, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Guns and Roses.
Well, yesterday we had some sample, and you did catch some of those videos we posted online
I did.
of some of the tests of skill. Because, quite frankly, if it's a test of strength, nobody would show up, and it wouldn't be much of a game because you would win them all,
Yeah.
without a doubt. So this way, we've made it more skills.
So I can lose them all.
You could lose.
Yeah.
We set it up, Wyatt, so
Well, no,
you're
it's
going to get beat.
No,
and
so
you're
the
gonna
other-
beat all day. And,
No,
and
so
we're gonna
they-
rub it in
yeah,
your
no,
face.
no.
It's all good. It's
So
all
the
good.
other people have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. For example, now if you did see this video where Lisa picked up at no expense, sparing no expense at the dollar store,
Yes.
to pick up these Rubik's cubes with the suits from a deck of cards on there.
Yeah, and it took me like 15 minutes to figure out a little bit of the jokers on one side.
It's got all jokers on one
maybe
side.
that might be the
But I
game.
don't even
then.
know if that's correct. You know,
It doesn't matter. We
Yeah,
just
we could pick one.
We'll
So we
pick
could
a
say,
suit.
for example, we'd say, all right, we'll put 10 seconds on the clock, start spinning it, get as many hearts on one side as you can.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
For
you can.
Valentine's Day.
For Valentine's Day. See what we
Day.
did there? I mean,
See how?
You know,
we're
I'm
professionals,
I'm going
Wyatt.
to save all my competitive juices for Guns N' Roses contest.
Yes.
We also Rock'em Sock'em Robots
Yep.
will be one that we have
I
up
used to- I
there.
remember playing that.
It's
back
right up
the
in the
day.
corner there. It's on the
Wow.
the pop culture wall of fame here in the studio.
I noticed Joe, when he demonstrated this, he just broke it. Like all
Yeah.
that rage and testosterone in his body. He
broke
just,
the
he
Rubik's
just
Cube.
snapped it.
Well, I was playing the role of Wyatt. Wyatt the strongest man of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I figured, and you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you
Hit
very
it
much.
right on the head.
Other
Thank
than
you.
the strong part.
It's an honor that you were able to portray me in the way that you did.
I got your back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Yes.
no, and Joe, by the way, and this we talked about early one morning, so you may not have heard this, but from the weekend, the really manly act that Joe did this past weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Check this out.
Brace yourself for this, Wyatt.
Yeah,
I had to open up a can.
yeah.
And
A can of what?
a can of
Can
SpaghettiOs.
of SpaghettiOs.
Not a can of whoop ass.
But I
Yeah,
had,
can of SpaghettiOs.
and I had forgotten that I threw out my can opener because it was a piece of garbage.
Yes.
So I used a knife and I opened it the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
Like a real man.
That is very manly. My question is, to be your age and eating SpaghettiOs, how stoned were you at the moment?
It's a
when you were doing
90-second
this?
dinner. And I'd just gotten home from...
They still don't even know the ingredients in that. They're trying to
You
figure it
don't
out.
need to know the ingredients. The
It's
ingredients
just
are
good.
just fine.
You know, I mean, as a kid who grew up on SpaghettiOs,
Yeah.
man, I get it. I get it.
No.
I get it.
When you were 12.
I would have smashed it on the ground if it meant getting that sweet spaghetti.
Yeah.
That is the manliest thing I've ever heard.
That's right. Isn't that great?
Yep.
Yeah, like when he said that at first, we're thinking, wow, you picked up like 2 chicks at the same time or something. It's like, wow, man.
I was going to say, you got laid? Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, I opened up a can of SpaghettiOs.
A couple of requests here in text, Joe, for you to again repeat the sound that you made when you were opening up the can with the.
That sound?
That's the sound.
Yes.
It's a familiar sound in my heart.
Yes, it is.
Sound
Very
of success.
Yes. All right, very good.
Is this exercise?
Get you a shake weight.
Oh man, well, I'll tell you what, it's 8:18. We do have a couple questions for you, Wyatt, as a Judge Wyatt here on the other side, and then we'll finish up. And again, that's happening next week. It's the first ever Gomez and Lisa Guns and Roses Valentine's giveaway extravaganza featuring skills and feats of skills against Wyatt next week.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, but we'll. All right, back some more here with the Big Wyatt, America's bouncer and the world's strongest man. Wyatt, a couple of texts here first. Among them, we were talking about Joe's act of manliness here, where he opened a can of SpaghettiOs using only a. And was it a big knife? Was it like a Bowie knife? Was it like a Rambo, an OJ? What do we have?
OJ.
What?
It was not an OJ. It was a big butcher knife.
Oh,
Butcher
okay.
knife? A steak knife?
Whatever the
It's
hell
big.
it is. It was a big knife.
Well, that could count as an OJ, couldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't really know what knife he used.
That's true.
He does.
Texture wants to know, is it still manly, the fact that Joe had to go on YouTube first to see the instructions on how to open up the can of
It was
SpaghettiOs?
not YouTube. It was Google.
Does that take anything away from the manliness of
I mean,
said
it
act?
knocks it down a couple points.
I am a
Little bit.
21st century man.
Out of
That's right.
Originally, it was an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Now we're going to knock it down to an 8.
That's still an A minus.
That's probably the manliest thing you've ever done ever.
That's it.
Without question.
Another texture's a 90-second dinner that took you a half hour to open.
Worth it. It was worth every painstaking minute.
Oh, man.
Have you ever had to rip the top off of something, Wyatt? Something like that?
Yeah, I've done
Break
that.
it
So
open.
I was like a child opening up, where those juice things?
Yeah.
There was juice, but it was in a can.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a kid. I used to take a butter knife and stab it.
Like Hawaiian.
And if you only stabbed one hole, it wouldn't come out.
Yeah.
So you had to stab 2 holes. So
That's cool.
we did some weird stuff growing up. We were allowed to do it though,
Yeah, now there's.
We're 8 years old, walking around at 3 a.m. Walking down to the gas station, get some soda or something.
And cigarettes for your mom because she gave you a note.
Yeah, right. Nowadays, people call CPS on you for stuff like that.
Well, speaking of back in the day here, off the air, we were talking about your line of work as a bouncer, but back in the day, because I'd seen a picture online of you and a guy, Steve Cook, who, if you were going to bars back in the 80s, or a couple of guys that you would see all the time at the bars, at the doors. Steve Cook was one, another guy, Bigfoot.
Greg Buck.
Yeah, legendary, and Greg Buck, legendary local bouncers. That back in that time period, bouncers were celebrities because you'd know them.
Right.
If you were going around, people would point them out. Hey, there's Greg. There's
Yeah, it's kind of you know, it's to me it ends up kind of being sad stories sometimes with them, you know. And I met up with Steve Cook, and that was one of the reasons. It was they're the reasons I got into this. I took it just a little bit further, you know, and I think if they were in my era, they would have been able to do it as well. I mean, the social media era,
Sure,
everything's on video era, because I, you know, the crazy stories I heard about them as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Grabowski, one of my coaches and my workout partners, one of my, you know, closest friends, he would just tell me stories about these guys, and some of them were dead, and it was like, you know, they're living forever because of what they did in the bar. You know,
Isn't that something?
but when you actually get down to like their lives, like some of them, they never got out of this stuff. And sometimes when I don't get out of, when I actually end up working the doorways, which, you know, every weekend or every other weekend, I'm still doing it, you know, once or twice a night, which is not 7 days a week like it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I got to get out of this at some point, you know, because then there's, if you don't, you're just never going to get out of it.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
It's like a young guy's thing. You know, and we're talking like back in the day, places like Club 37 and Uncle Sam's and places like that. That's where these guys were at the Poorhouse West. I would see Steve there at other places. But no, it's like an interesting culture of guys. And you were saying back in the day, they would get together and have fun competition, things they don't do anymore.
He told me stories that like the strongest bouncer competition and at Club 37, and you know, he brought Joe Dardano as his partner, and you know, they went and, you know, I guess they beat everybody. He did all the strength stuff. Joe did all the endurance stuff, and you know, that sounds like fun. You know, it'd been nice to be around back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's
in the
pretty
middle
cool.
of the night, they put out bench presses. And, you know, have a bench press competition with all the big bouncers around. I mean, that'd be great to do. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Syracuse nightlife is like dying. You know, I worked right down the street the other day on a Saturday, and I was just looking out. I was like, dude,
Where's
I
it?
remember 2005 to 2011. There's seas of people out here.
Yeah.
I was like, and now there's nothing. And I was like, and I don't even understand how anyone's surviving.
Are they going to other places?
I think a lot of it had to do with like the mall opening up and having, you know, now the mall, they serve beer and, you know, come bring your kids to the mall, get drunk and drive home. I mean, I don't understand. We back to being kids. Like when we were kids, we go run around the mall till 1, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like adults do that. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
That's true.
You know, a lot of it had to do with some of the problems that went on down here. You know.
Yeah.
They had a
Yeah.
couple
Crime
issues,
and-
you know, right? And a lot of people were afraid to go out. You know.
Yeah. Well, and then, granted, not that we should be surprised by winter weather in central New York in winter.
Yeah, that didn't matter.
It didn't matter. You
Yeah.
used to go out anyway.
Yeah,
That's kind of the best place to go.
I remember it snowing on Halloween, and all the girls were still out in Playboy bunny outfits and stuff like that. And it's just like it's 10 degrees out. You know?
It made it more fun that
And,
way.
Yeah, right.
All right, White, one quick question here before, and then we'll see you again next Friday, by the way,
Okay.
for the Guns N' Roses thing. But ripped from the headline, somebody wanted to know because Pete Rose yesterday petitioned Major League Baseball to get reinstated
Yeah.
in order that he could officially get into the Baseball Hall of Fame based on the penalties that were given out to the Houston Astros. None of the players were penalized, but the management was, and the players were the ones who were cheating. So in his mind, it's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't even penalize these guys, and I've been kicked out of the Hall for 30 years now.
So his thing was gambling.
Yes.
He gambled on his own team.
Well, now that gambling is legal,
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's still being kept out.
I think, it's just in that mindset, it's like the worst thing you can do is in sports is gambling, and as a manager, even though you're gambling on your own team,
to win.
you're in a position to manipulate your own lineup, and you can.
Yeah.
Now he manipulated it so they lost.
Well, no, but who knows? He got caught in these lies. He denied it for decades until there was enough paperwork to prove he was lying, and then he finally said, "Okay, you caught me."
No,
As
he
opposed to,
was a player as well, right?
Oh, sure.
No.
He's in the hall, like in different categories, but not. He doesn't have a plaque in the hall. Like if you were to go right now, there's most hits, whatever his name is throughout the Hall of Fame in different areas, but he doesn't have that.
If he's
statue.
already in there and he messed up in certain ways, then he's in there, and he should just shut up.
Just
he
shut up.
He doesn't need a plaque. I mean,
if
your name's in there, you're there forever anyways.
Yeah.
So
Duly noted.
yeah.
The amazing Big Wyatt, folks, America's bouncer and the world's strongest man. Next Friday, the first ever Gomez and Lisa Guns N' Roses Valentine's Day giveaway with feats of skills against Wyatt.
Let's do it.
Let's do
I'm
it.
ready.
All right, Wyatt, thanks.
All right, buddy.
We'll see you
Thanks
next
for
week.
having me.
All right, so 8:33 on deck. Danny Shays will talk hoops. It's Gomez and Lisa here, and we'll be right back.